You cannot let anybody's action distract you from the covenant you have with God or the promises you have with God. A vivid example is the story about Shimei in 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 36 to 46. The Bible said that Shimei went into covenant with Solomon not to leave Jerusalem. The instruction was simple. However, he allowed his servant's action to cost him his life. I want you to understand that not every problem deserves your response. Some battles are designed to pull you away from the place of your protection. We have to be careful as believers. Looking at the example of Shimei, the day he left Jerusalem was the day he will die. But what happened? Shimei obeyed for 3 years. But then when his servant left, he ran after them when they went to Gad. Instead of accepting his loss, Shimei shielded his donkey and went after them. It would have looked like the reasonable thing to do, but alas, he was only trying to recover his servant. But what seemed like a small matter became a fatal mistake because it caused him to violate the covenant that was keeping him alive. The servant knew nothing about the covenant. I want to ask you today, you make mistake by thinking every problem that comes to you, everyone that reach out to you, you must solve their problem. Some people allow some people else's behavior to provoke them into disobedience. Sometimes a friend's betrayal, a family dispute, an employee's mistake, or an offense can cause them to abandon God's instruction. Even though he went in search of his servant, though he had good intention, but that intention was what cost him his life. We need to be careful as believers. Your covenant with God is personal. Your obedience is personal. No one else will bear the consequences of your disobedience. Sometimes the greatest wisdom is to let some things go rather than lose the blessing that God has placed over your life. Shimei lost more than his servant. He lost his life because he left the place of safety. What do I want you to learn? Is simply never allow other people's action to make you disobey God, because you will bear the consequences all by yourself. That you need to understand that not every opportunity, offense, or problem is worth pursuing. The place of obedience, the place of protection. I want to ask you this very moment. What is that thing you're chasing that is worth losing what God has promised you? What is that thing you're doing? Who is that person in your life whose action can cost you the covenant you have with your God? Before you react to people, remember that the covenant you have with God, you cannot afford to sacrifice it. Shimei lost his life, not because he wanted to do something for himself, but because he chose to pursue 2 adults that went away. Adults who were not even privy to whatever covenant he has made with the king. Adults who were not there, that know nothing about his destiny. You need to look out and be careful. Let's not be hasty in our spirit to do whatever it is we think we want to do. It is okay to help. I'm not saying do not help, but are you being led by God? Do you know the aftermath of that help? Let's not let people's actions our destiny. Thank you for listening. Until we meet next week, please like, subscribe, and share our video. Thank you so much.